Welcome back to Deb's True Crime Notebook. We'll reread the documents for you so you don't have to. And we do have a document this morning that we're going to read at some point here. This is day 18 in the Richard Allen trial. It's the day we've waited for, closing arguments, where both sides will wrap up their theory and beliefs based on facts, hopefully, of what happened that day to Libby and Abby. Let's get right into what we know so far. After day 17 of witness testimonies and evidence presentation, the jury will listen to closing arguments from both the prosecution and defense starting today. Special Judge Francis Gull informed the jury on Wednesday that they can expect several hours of closing statements, with each side allotted up to 2.5 hours. Both parties can only discuss the evidence and testimony that was permitted during the trial, meaning the defense will not be able to mention Odinism or any alternative suspects they argue were responsible for the murders. Once the closing arguments conclude, the jury will receive instructions. If they have reasonable doubt, they should find Richard Allen not guilty. Conversely, if they believe he committed the murders, they are to find him guilty. From there, the decision rests with the jury. Deliberations may last for hours or even days, and 12-member jury, excluding 3 alternates, must reach a unanimous verdict. Should they fail to do so, it will result in a mistrial. Normally, Richard Allen gets a coffee from the courthouse, but today, Baldwin has purchased one from a local coffee shop. Baldwin had the name Rick written on the coffee cup. 9:12 a.m. The jury has received their final instructions. Judge Gull informed the jury that they serve as the judges of both law and facts. You must evaluate the facts, Gull stated. The jury will deliberate on 1. Count 1, felony murder of the death of Abigail Williams during an attempted kidnapping. Count 2, felony murder for the death of Liberty German. Count 3, murder for the intentional killing of Abigail Williams. Count 4, murder for the intentional killing of Liberty German. Gull emphasized that the state must establish each element of every charge beyond a reasonable doubt. He clarified that intentionally or knowingly indicates the suspect had a conscious objective to commit the crime. Gull also explained the concepts of facts, inferences, and direct evidence. She noted that Allen's choice not to testify should not be taken into account. In Prosecutor Nick McClelland's closing statements, he took 58 total minutes to guide jurors through the evidence and testimony against Richard Allen in his closing argument. He showed video footage of the suspect, displayed graphic crime scene images, and played recorded confessions from Allen for the jurors. McClelland tells the jury, February 13th is a day Delphi will never forget. He asserts that the state has established Allen as bridge guy, stating, the state has done just that. McClelland reflects on that day, mentioning where Libby was during her last conversation with her grandmother, Becky Patty. He presents a PowerPoint featuring the Snapchat photo of Libby and Abby taken from Kelsey German's car. He recounts the search conducted by Libby's father and his call to Becky Patty. McClelland shares details about the search, noting that Brad Weber, a neighbor, allowed them to explore his property. Although they did not enter the house at that time, he reviews testimonies from several witnesses who saw Bridge Guy, including Betsy Blair, who observed the girls, and Sarah Carball, who described seeing Bridge Guy as muddy and bloody. He emphasizes that doesn't happen around here, in reference to the murders, and describes the discovery of the body, showing images of the girls' clothing found in Deer Creek. He details the securing of the crime scene. McClelland then discusses firearms, explaining that officers in Carroll County use 9mm handgun instead of .40 caliber, adding, remember that for later. And now we have a document that was released this morning that I'm going to read to you. If you recall, about a week and a half ago, or maybe longer, time's flown by, hasn't it? There was a document that was filed by the defense, and they were trying to file a motion to bring Robert Ives, former prosecuting attorney for Carroll County, in to testify. Now, Robert Ives' attorney came in and said there's no reason for him to be there to testify because he was not the prosecuting attorney when Rick Allen was arrested, and he knows nothing of the case from that standpoint. So the judge has responded to that, And here's what she had to say. State of Indiana versus Richard M. Allen, order. Comes now Robert Ives, former prosecuting attorney by counsel Thomas J. O'Brien, and files a motion to quash Supreme in the above entitled clause. The court, being duly advised, now grants said motion and strikes the defense's subpoena served upon Robert Ives, requesting him to testify at the jury trial in above entitled clause. And it is signed by Judge Gull, Carroll Circuit Court. We will have more information for you as the day goes on. I wanted to get this information out as soon as possible. I know that all of you who cannot be there are very curious as to what's going on in the courtroom today, as I am and everyone else. So this is what we know so far, and the defense is in the process, I believe, at this time of giving their closing arguments. We'll come back later this afternoon to update you. Thanks for watching Deb's True Crime Notebook. If you could, do me a favor and ring the bell for all notifications, subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave us a message. Tell me what you're thinking on this 18th day of the trial, closing argument day. We'll see you this afternoon.